So, everything I'm carrying and while I'm still here. So, this episode includes school based trauma, chronic illness, suicidal feelings, not instructions. And if you're not in the headspace today, please skip this one and come back when you feel safer. So, welcome back to the Be Yourself Unapologetically podcast. As you know, there's a lot going on lately. I'm expressing it in different ways. So I'm not doing the polished version. No shiny 10 tips to fix your life with a bow on top. Today is just the truth, the messy human, ordinary kind that still somehow feels too heavy to say out loud. So if you're listening while washing up, walking the dog, driving to work, lying on the sofa with a headache, or hiding in the loo for 5 minutes of quiet, I see you. And I'm right there with you. So today's episode is called Everything I'm Carrying and Why I'm Still Here. Because I'm holding a lot and I know I'm not the only one. So here's what it feels like day to day. It feels like living in a house where the fire alarm is always chirping. Not loud enough to make you run outside, but constant enough to make you slowly lose your mind. I wake up already tired. Not just I need a coffee, tired. The kind of tired that sits behind your eyes. The kind that turns basic tasks into mountains with paperwork stapled to the side. And on paper, life can look normal. School runs, appointments, emails, forms, phone calls, shopping, dinner, repeat. But inside this routine is a constant juggling, and between my child's needs, my own health worries, and systems that make you prove your pain like you're on trial. And I'm a mum, so I do what mums do. I keep going. Even when my body says stop, even when my mind is begging for quiet, even when my heart feels like it's being wrung out like a dishcloth. My daughter, the girl who has been brave for too long. I need to talk about my daughter because she is the centre of this storm. She's 15, and for years, we've been waiting for answers that should never take this long. We've had ADHD on the record for a long time, and still it's like the world says, okay, but can she behave? And we've been trying to get an autism assessment since she was much younger. So many conversations, so many let's monitor it, so many moments where professionals sounded certain, and I went home with the same child, the same struggles, and no real support. And meanwhile, she learned to do this thing that kids do when they're smart and sensitive. She learned to mask. She learned to smile when she was drowning. She learned to people please. She learned to push through pain. She learned to sit in classrooms that felt like a sensory assault and act like she was fine. And the world clapped. Because when a child suffers quietly, it's convenient. But the bill always comes due. Now she's shutting down. School isn't just hard. School is a trigger. The building, the corridors, the noise, the expectations, the constant pressure to perform like a little machine. It's taken a child who used to love learning and made learning feel like danger. And as a mum, watching that is a specific kind of heartbreak. Because you don't just feel sad. You feel powerless. You feel angry. You feel guilty. You feel like you're screaming underwater while everyone on the shore says, "Have you tried encouraging her?" And the scariest part, the part I'm going to say carefully, is when your child starts talking about not wanting to be here anymore. Not because they are attention seeking, not because they're dramatic, but because their nervous system has been pushed past the limit for so long that their brain starts offering escape routes. And if you're never sat with that fear, I'm glad for you. But if you have, you'll know it changes you. So the body stuff, when physical health joins the fight. And then there's the physical side. My daughter has hypermobility and symptoms that look a lot like POTS, dizzy spells, headaches, feeling faint, times where standing for a few minutes can wipe her out, times where her eyesight goes funny, times where her body just says, "Nope, not today." And it's terrifying because you're trying to work out what's school anxiety, what's nervous system overload, what's physical illness, what's pain, what's exhaustion. And it all stacks together like plates in a sink that never empties. And the medical system, listen, I'm grateful we have the NHS, I am. But the waiting can feel like being asked to hold your breath indefinitely. You chase letters, you chase referrals, you chase appointments that take weeks to write up and months to happen. And you do it while caring for a child who is actively struggling right now. It's like being told, we'll throw you a life ring, and then watching it arrive by second-class post. My own health worries. When you're also on the list, I don't talk about me very much because mums aren't robots, even if we're treated like the default setting is endless. I've had my own health worries, scans and waiting, and that horrible what if loop that plays in your head at 2 a.m. when you're trying to be strong, feel your child, but you're also quietly wondering what's going on in your own body. It's a strange kind of fear because it's not dramatic, it's practical. It's like your brain starts making spreadsheets of worst case scenarios. And there's also the everyday stuff, the tiredness, the stress headaches, the I've been sipping water all day and I still feel rough days. The days where you lie down for 5 minutes and realise your body has been begging for it for weeks. And if you smoke, or you've got habits you're not proud of, or you're on medication or you're trying to sort your health out while under stress, you can end up feeling judged from every direction. Like you have to be a perfect patient to deserve help. And that's rubbish. The systems, ECHPs, panels and proving pain. Now let's talk about the part that drains you in a way sleep can't fix. The systems. If you've ever gone through send processes, you'll know it's not just paperwork. It's paperwork with consequences. It's writing your child's suffering into neat sections. It's describing the worst days in bullet points. It's reliving the trauma in order to evidence it. It's meeting after meeting where you feel like you're begging for basics, support, understanding, reasonable adjustments, safety. And the whole time your child is still living the reality you're describing. And as a mum, you start to develop this strange double life on the outside. You're polite, organised. Thank you for your email. On the inside, you're thinking, how much worse does it need to get before someone listens? And here's the bit nobody tells you. Advocacy is grief in a blazer. Because you're fighting for your child, yes, but you're also grieving what they've lost. Their confidence, their joy, their ease, sometimes their friendships. And there's the guilt, the thought that haunts. I need to say that sentence that haunts so many mums. And if I knew then what I know now, I would have done it differently. I think about homeschooling. I think about trusting my instincts sooner. I think about the times professionals convinced me something wasn't the best option, when actually it might have protected her. And I want to say this clearly for any parent carrying that guilt. You made the best decisions you could with the information, support, and energy you had at the time. That's not a motivational poster. That's a fact. Because parenting isn't a straight line. It's a maze where the signs keep changing. And God, what it feels like in the quiet moments. Let me describe the quiet moments, the ones people don't see. It's sitting in your car after an appointment, hands still on the steering wheel, staring at nothing, because your brain can't load the next task yet. It's opening an email and feeling your chest tighten before you even read it, because you've learned that dear parent carer can ruin a whole day. It's hearing your child's bedroom door shut and not knowing if it's normal teenage privacy or something you should be afraid of. It's being so tired, you start forgetting words mid-sentence. Not because you're not smart, but because you're running on emergency power. And it's loving your child so much it hurts, because love doesn't make you calm. Love makes you alert. Love makes you scan for danger. Love makes you fight. What I need you to hear, yes, you. If you're listening and you're in the thick of it too, I need you to hear a few things. 1, you are not weak for struggling. You are responding normally to an abnormal load. 2, you are not overreacting because your child is in pain. Your instincts are data. 3, you are allowed to be tired and still be a brilliant parent. Exhaustion is not a personality flaw. 4, you do not have to carry this alone. And I know that's easy to say, hard to feel, but it's still true. So, the gentle next steps, without pretending it's easy, because I'm just here to tell you I understand. I'm not going to pretend there's a magic fix. But here's a few things I'm holding on to, and maybe they'll help you too. I document everything. Not because I want to live in paperwork, but because systems respond to timelines. I separate my child from the problem. My child isn't difficult. The environment is inaccessible. I measure progress differently. Some days, success is she ate, she drank, she spoke to me, she got through an hour without panic. And I keep coming back to this. My job is not to make her fit into a system that is hurting her. My job is to keep her safe and help her heal. And if your child is at risk or talking about not wanting to be here, please take it seriously. You are not making it worse by talking about it. You are opening a door that could save their life. Too many parents are so caught up, they don't even listen when a child speaks. But if you're in crisis or worried about your child, if they're in immediate danger, call 999 or take them to A&E. If you need urgent mental health help, the NHS has guidance on where to get urgent support. In England, NHS 111 is also being used to access crisis and mental health support, with local services providing the care. I'm not saying it's perfect, but if you need someone to talk to right now, you can call the Samaritans on 116 123 free anytime. For young people, or if your child needs tech support, they can access Young Minds and text shout to 85258 for free. And if you're worried a young person may be feeling suicidal, Papyrus Hope Line 24/7 can help. They can call 0800 068 4141 or text 88247. You don't have to earn support by being at breaking point. If you're close to the edge, that's close enough. I've been silent for too long. I started my podcast to help other people. And I'm making this episode because I'm tired of suffering being silent, tired of parents being isolated, tired of kids masking themselves into collapse. And I'm also making it because I'm still here and my daughter is still here, and that matters. So if you've watched and listened this far, thank you for sitting with me in the real stuff. If this episode brought anything up for you, please reach out to someone today, a friend, a GP, a helpline, anyone's safe. And if you want, you can share this episode with a parent who's quietly drowning, not as pressure, as a hand on the shoulder that says, I believe you. So this is Be Yourself Unapologetically, and today this is me being unapologetically honest. See you in the next episode.